I can't think of actually another female art dealer in the 20th century that was as spirited and adventurous and who really made the business of art dealing a true family affair. This spring, we're honored to be selling works from the collection of Barbara and Daniel Fendrick. Barbara and Daniel were really important fixtures in the DC arts community. They ran an eponymous gallery in the Georgetown neighborhood from 1970 until 1991. And for a brief time, they also had a space here in New York in Soho. Over the course of 21 years, they introduced the arts community to a wide range of artists, many of them very prominent American artists already. The Fendrick Gallery gave the first commercial solo exhibitions in Washington, D.C. to Helen Frankenthaler, Robert Motherwell, Jasper Johns, Louise Nevelson, Robert Rauschenberg, Robert Arneson, and Jim Dine, and exhibited important D.C. artists like Sam Gilliam, Gene Davis, Ann Truitt, and Martin Puryear, as well as important sculptors Albert Paley and John Dreyfus. What set the Fendrick Gallery apart was a philosophy that art is for everyone, and almost everything can be art. She set out with an open mind in her gallery. She wanted to show not just the traditional paintings and works on paper, but she also wanted to bring mediums in that had historically been marginalized. The other defining feature of the Fendrick Gallery was that it was truly a family affair. Barbara, you could say, was the heart of the gallery, but alongside her was Daniel, her husband, who was a real partner and also the soul of the gallery. Alongside Daniel and Barbara, they had their 5 children. Instead of going to a fancy DC white table establishment, they went back to the Fendrick's house in Chevy Chase. And that's where the artists and the collectors, the curators would gather to celebrate the show that had just opened. And it was around their own family dining table that these conversations, this dialogue would take place, with the children right by their side, very much part of the evening. One of my favorite works in the collection is Helen Frankenthaler's Degas at 45, which was painted in 1974. Degas is known for being one of the impressionists who didn't use a classic white ground for his paintings. He often chose colored grounds that would then sort of infuse the entire canvas with one color. And in this case, she's chosen this really delicious, buttery, yellow dandelion ground on which to push her pinks and roses and whites across. Another highlight of the collection is Sam Gilliam's Topper Carew from 1972. We assume this work is titled after the famous film director and DC activist. Both Sam and Barbara would likely have known each other and interacted, as they were both important fixtures within the DC community. Gilliam's Topper Carew is from the artist Bevel Edge series, which he began in the late 1960s. And he really did this as a way to confront painting and push it into the space of body. Gilliam painted Topper Carew the same year that he was awarded the prestigious spot representing the United States at the Venice Biennial. Another fantastic work in the collection is Robert Motherwell's Beside the Sea, No. 43 from 1966. This is a work that Barbara bought directly from Motherwell in 1972 after having shown an exhibition of the artist's work in her gallery. Motherwell's Beside the Sea has been hanging over the family's fireplace since 1972 when it was acquired directly from the artist. We're honored to be selling Robert Arneson's Funny Vase from 1974. It is one of the artist's most important works and really brings the sense of humor to his objects that he is known for. Helen Frankenthaler's London Memos from 1971 is another very special work that we have on offer this season. It's one of the largest works on paper that we've ever had the privilege of offering, measuring at 30 by 41 inches. It's a beautiful example of her work from the early 70s, where Frankenthaler is really still exploring with line and creating really distinct separate areas of the composition. Also, as part of the group this season, we're selling 2 of Frankenthaler's painted book covers. Helen made 62 of these unique covers. Each is hand-painted, each is incredibly beautiful, and all of them were shown in a presentation at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The Fendrick collection is coming to auction on Tuesday, May 14th.